to Croatia, into Hungary, and then to Budapest. Budapest is a big city. And we had another language experience, another country. And Adam was able to help with that. He had a lot more confidence than we did. Now, one day when we were at the city market, really big place, I got brave and I went over and exchanged some money by myself. And without telling anybody, I took 20 bucks and said, hey, I want Hungarian florins. And the lady gave the math real fast, and I just kind of accepted it because I couldn't process in my head what she was saying in Hungarian and then in English, and then kind of say, okay, but what am I trying to say? Hey, we were in the same boat as you guys. These two right here, our daughter and our son-in-law, they're learning Bosnian. During the next year, their main assignment is to learn Bosnian so they can function in everyday society. They work for a non-governmental organization. They just had a war over there. And what they're trying to do is to work on projects to get people to work together, to get the economy back up and running, and and be part of that. And I'm learning the challenge. I think you guys have helped me see that, but I saw it from over there. Okay, that kind of sets the table. English idiom, set the table. We're preparing, explaining what this is all about. Since we have a good, solid connection here, we're going to have them first before we lose it. The little guy in the background, his name is Xavier, our grandson, who is going to be 2 in June. On the left is Krista. On the right is Adam. Adam's from North Carolina, and they met in Bosnia. Krista is a nurse, a registered nurse, and worked in neonatal intensive care. The little premature babies that are that big, and it's their job to care for them and to make sure they thrive. What we typically do here, Adam and Krista, at Ask the Experts, we have everybody introduce themselves and with their name, where they come from, and maybe they can say a word or two about English and where they're at with English, and maybe we can encourage each other. And I'm not going to be able to move this computer around a whole lot because the cords are kind of hanging in there. But I wonder if we could have people just come and sit in this chair and introduce yourself in front of the camera.
That's a good idea.
Starting with Daisy. Here, you can sit in my chair. I'll take my coffee. Introduce yourself, where you're from, and hey, you're learning the language, right? And let them know a little bit about what you're doing.
Okay.
They're in Bosnia, in Eastern Europe. Go ahead.
Just say
have a seat.
Just say hi and tell them who you are.
Hi, how are you? I'm Daisy. 你好. Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Oh, okay, that's great. Why? Hi, how are you? I saw you. I feel the word is so small. Yeah. Okay. Okay, you better go.
The world is small.
Yeah.
You know what's small? Yeah.
Very nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
What's your first name?
My first name is Xiang. I'm from China.
Whereabouts in China?
Beijing.
Beijing. Okay.
Yeah. I work on a forest. Nice to see you.
Okay,
Nice to
great.
see you too.
Mina, I wonder if you could introduce yourself.
What's she doing? Just say hi and tell them who you are.
Yeah.
Hello. I'm
Hello.
Lina. Nice to meet you. Your parents are my friends, and I know you have a little hard in your life during live in Bosnia. I hope you be look like.
Amina is from Iran.
Yes, I'm from Iran,
Her-
and
Nice.
nice to meet you too.
And her husband's a PhD student in chemistry.
Oh, you're not beautiful.
Nice to meet you.
Okay. Young, do you want to say hello?
She is scared again.
Behind me.
She is scared.
Hi, my name is Yang. I'm from China. Very glad to meet all of you. And I think English is a challenging thing for foreign people. I can understand your situation. I think you can learn it very well.
Thank you. That's great.
Yeah. Great to meet someone who understands our situation.
Okay, now this is the first time that we've done a webcam chat here at Friendship House. Can you guys introduce what you're doing and talk about where you're at and the language that you're learning to speak? You got a bunch of countries right around you, little ones: Serbia, Croatia, and Bosnia, and others. Just talk a minute about that, if you would.
Well, as Wes had already talked about, my wife, who is pulling something out of the oven right now, we do live in Bosnia, and it doesn't, being in Europe is a very interesting location because there's so many languages and cultures that are represented in such a small area. We have found just the importance or just how important it is to know how to communicate, and that's essentially what the first part of our life here in Bosnia is about: is learning how to communicate. And being that we are moving into a foreign culture, a foreign country, we've taken it our challenge to learn the local languages. We know that in the work that we're doing, which is development work, development work centers around things that can be lasting and things that will kind of come and go. And so we know how important learning language is and making sure that the work we do as an organization is lasting. And it's frustrating and difficult and as confusing and is sometimes, we know in the end that it's helpful for us to build trust with people through learning their language, and how much easier it is for us to communicate and represent who we are based on the language that people speak here.
How about Krista? How is she doing with the language study? Now, you've spent more time in Bosnia than she has. Is she further behind in her language studies, or her ability to have conversations? Is it more of a struggle?
You know, I think compared to the amount of time that she spent here, that her language is great and it's excellent. It's amazing that, okay, when I first moved here, it was about 5 or 6 years ago, and I stayed here for a year and a half. But even though it's been that long, I can still clearly remember the feelings I felt when I first moved here, and to not be able to communicate, to not be able to go to the store and ask for bread, but you're like a caveman who just kind of points and grunts and hopes that you get what you want. I remember many times I came back home with whatever they decided to put in the bag because I had no idea how to exactly ask for it. And so Krista is probably, maybe some of those memories are more fresh. But it's such a clear memory of just how hard it was at first to get what you want, to communicate what you want, you think?
Yeah, I think it's most definitely difficult, but it's also just everyday life is a good motivating factor to learn language and just be able to lay out the water bag, go to the grocery store, and buy things you need, and that really helps. Just
Okay, you're breaking up on us.